Right before the pandemic started, I did something very scary. I spent $15,000 cash and bought 3.5 acres of land in upstate New York. The goal of that land was really just to find a place that I could build a little cabin for myself to relax and recharge when I left my busy job. At the time, I was working in tech and I was working about 60 hours a week. Then I realized that when I wasn't there, I need to find a way to make a little bit of money from that land just to pay the taxes, the school taxes, and also the fact that I just damn near emptied out my account to buy this land. And that is a quick backstory of how I started my glamping business. It really was just happenstance. But here I am today, a few years later, and I actually shut down my glamping business. And in today's video, I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm also gonna give you tips and tricks to A, make this not happen to you, and B, how to be successful throughout it. So you guys can learn from my mistakes, learn from my life, and do better. Let's get into it. The reason I shut down my glamping business is actually very simple. I wasn't getting enough bookings. It wasn't worth my time and effort to keep things going. So about 30 days ago, I shut it down. Like I always tell you guys, I'm not a guru. I'm not some person who's perfect, and I'm not some know-it-all. I'm just a regular guy like you guys who decided to chase their goal, and I'm learning as I go, and I'm trying to teach you guys to learn from my mistakes. All summer long, my glamping business was off the chain. Every weekend, I was getting fully booked out, and even during the week. And that's kind of how I view a really big success. Getting the weekends, Friday to Sunday, booked out, kind of not that hard if you are doing things correctly. But can you get people to come to your glamp site and shower outdoors and sleep in a cabin on a Wednesday? That's tough. And I was able to do that all summer long. Right around November, my bookings fell off of a cliff to the point where I had to ask myself, is this truly worth my time? So, is this video clickbait? No, I actually shut down my glamping business and I will not open it again for about 4 to 5 months. This winter, I am taking a break. But Jamie, I've seen your channel before. You actually have a couple videos where you say that glamping businesses thrive in the winter and no one has to shut down. And that is true. I spoke to some people that own an amazing glamp site in Western New York, and their glamp site is popping all winter long. This business is very regional, and I always try to explain that. So maybe in Western New York, where it's always very cold a lot of the time and the people there enjoy cold activities, they're unfazed by the weather. So maybe on the northeast side of New York State, people aren't interested in doing these types of activities when the weather gets very cold. At the same time, I would say maybe 70 to 80% of the people that book at my glamp site are coming up from New York City. Most people from New York City don't own cars, so maybe they're not willing to, kind of make the trek outside of the city to go up to my glamp site. Another thing to factor in with me shutting down my glamp site for the next 4 months, essentially all winter long, is the fact that I wasn't at 0 bookings. I was still getting bookings, but everyone has to choose for themselves whether it's enough, whether it is worth their time and their effort in keeping it open, keeping it running. I am a completely one-man show. I handle almost everything here on this YouTube channel alone. I run my entire glamp site alone. So for me to put my time and energy into something, there has to be a certain amount of return I'm getting from it. So at the end of the day, it's not worth it for me to get 2 to 3 bookings a month and stay open. It's just not. Even though the price point of my glamp site is pretty high. So, I'm not saying that 1 to 2 to 3 bookings a month isn't enough money or isn't, even an okay amount of money. I can certainly pay a couple of bills, but I really work for myself full time. It has to be worth it. Another reason that I'm shutting down is the fact that I do believe I can steer the ship correctly. I don't think the sample size is enough for me to say that my glamp site is a failure in the winter. But what I do think I need to do is put forth more effort. Now that's a really weird thing to admit, and it's a very difficult thing to admit as well. You have to be honest with yourself. I know for a fact that I wasn't trying as hard as I possibly could to steer the ship and to right the ship and to get those bookings. So let's dive into what I should be doing instead of shutting down. If I didn't want to shut down, here's the things that I would do. For starters, I should change my listing a lot. All of the photos of my listing show my cabin with bright sun out in the middle of the summer. What people would like to see now is things like hot cocoa, falling leaves, and more winter activity. Something as simple as showing a car parked in the driveway without any snow on top of it and with it nicely plowed, that signals to people who are interested in your glamp site that, hey, this place is well kept and I will be able to, kind of go there and make it there. That's what people are looking for. Those little things about your listing, they go a very long way. They're not just reading your listing and seeing the photos, but they're trying to envision themselves there. And they want to envision themselves there safely, but they also want to envision themselves there with the current settings. So if it's the middle of summer, there's no reason to have a picture of your beautiful A-frame with all the snow piled up around the bottom, like how A-frames get. It looks awesome, but there's really no point for it. So that is a major tip, everybody. If you can, you really should be changing out the photos of your listing to match this season. That's not an easy thing to do, but if you don't do it, you're just basically lazy and you don't want to make money. So I'm just being honest. Another thing that I should be doing to make my glamp site run well in the winter is something that I thought about doing 2 to 3 months ago, but I was lazy and I didn't. And that is invest in winter activities. Cornhole makes no sense anymore. Your volleyball court or your hammock tied outside, no one cares about that stuff. So wasting precious listing real estate to show those types of things is unhelpful, but also it just signals the wrong thing. So what are some ideas of winter activities? Well, those are things you can do inside. How much would it cost you to provide a simple hot water heater or a kettle that you can plug in and a couple of free things of hot cocoa, instant cocoa powder? I mean, me personally, I don't like instant cocoa, but still, it gives a message to the people that says, oh, this is a place for winter fun. It's a winter wonderland. And that's what you want to do. Glamp sites, again, people come to them because they want something unique. They don't want to stay at something cookie cutter. They'll go to the Hyatt or the Super 8, right? They're staying at a place because they want something that they haven't done before. So if you can turn your glamp site into a winter wonderland, that's what people are interested in. So one of the things that I wanted to do was allow people to have more fun inside of my cabin. So I was thinking about adding a Bluetooth speaker inside of the cabin. I was thinking of adding some type of way that the 2 people inside of the cabin could do karaoke. I was thinking that maybe I add a projector because my cabin is very small. So I was thinking maybe they could project onto the wall and they could watch a movie and just cuddle up. Those are the type of things that I'm talking about. If this hasn't clicked yet, I'll say it very easy for you. If you are giving the exact same covers that you gave to them in the summer as the winter, you have not winterized your glamp site, okay? They want to be comfy, they want to be cozy. Those are the type of things that you should be thinking about. So again, those are all of the things that I should be doing to make my glamp site continue to be successful this winter, but I'm not because I'm too lazy. Well, let's actually dig into that a little bit more. Between me and you guys, and don't tell anybody, and this might not work out, I'm in the middle of closing a really big and cool real estate deal for another project, right? And I don't want to get too much into it. We'll see what happens. And of course, I'll keep you guys updated here on the channel, but I essentially want to focus a lot of my energy into that new project and make sure that that goes well. So for me, as of right now, it is not worth my time to split up my energy. And I want to say that to everybody. I think that when people start something, they feel like if they ever take a step back or they walk away from it, it's over and they're a failure. You are not a failure until you choose that you're a failure. You can keep going forward. And that's what I did here on this YouTube channel. You guys might be aware, I've taken a couple weeks off, but here I am. But let's move on right from that. And there's nothing wrong with pausing, catching your breath, and starting up again. So for the next 3 months, my personal glamp site is shut down. My failure, so to speak, or whatever's going on with me doesn't indicate what's going on with you. I can have a bunch of guests here on my channel telling you how their glamp site is going amazing in the winter. And I believe my glamp site will be going and would be going amazing in the winter if I so chose. But I'm taking a calculated step back and I'm thinking about what's best for me, my personal life, this YouTube channel, maybe my business career, etc. And I'm going forward with that. But I really don't want you guys walking away from this video thinking all glamp sites are terrible in the winter and they just don't work. That's just simply not true. And all you people in Texas, I had a person on the channel recently. He has one of the largest domes and the closest dome to Houston. His glamp site, he's not going to have these problems. Like, this is a very Northeast regional type of thing. And I just want to say that, like, you guys can be successful. That is the goal of my channel, is to empower you guys and to give you the information to go start and do this on your own. So with that being said, if you want to learn more about how to start a glamp site or how to be successful in the winter, check out the 2 videos on the screen right now.